Men who cheated and then dated the person they cheated with. How did it turn out? My dad cheated on my mom and later married the person he cheated with. Shockingly, his new wife cheated on him with another guy years later. My father did exactly this. I can't believe she cheated on me, buddy. You are, without exaggeration, the only person who can't believe this. Yeah, the sort of person who is willing to secretly get together for any extended period of time with someone who they know full well is in a monogamous relationship, obviously has low compassion, and is willing to live with lies and dishonesty. Bad traits like these are unlikely to change, and therefore one can expect that they will also be selfish and untrustworthy with their new partner too. Anyone who considered someone they cheated with as relationship material is taking a real risk. When I was a young lad, my partner of 2 years cheated on me with my best mate. Turns out it had been going on for about a year of that, which explained why she kept losing all of her best friends. Though sad none of them had the guts to say anything at the time. I only found out after I broke things off for different reasons. She ended up seeing my ex-best mate for a while, until she cheated on him with his brother. Dodged a nuke right there. I'm afraid that's just a mad woman with a machine gun, spraying and praying away. And our poor friend has been hit. Fortunately, it seems time healed this wound. My first ex-wife left me because she didn't know if the baby she was pregnant with was mine, my best friend's, or another guy's, my son. She then married my former best friend 32 days after we divorced. He came crying to me 4 years later when she left him for their neighbor. Holy shit. That sounds almost incestuous. Or like the show You, Me and My Ex. Patiently waiting for my ex to comment so I can receive an update. Felt this on a spiritual level. Someone I know cheated and left his GF to be with another woman because they were soulmates. Then that woman cheated and left him. LMAO, you get what you deserve. You will lose them as you got them. Live by the sword, die by the sword. F around. Find out. My brother cheated on one of his ex-girlfriends constantly. One of the women he cheated with was a friend's sister. Went on for a while. After he split from his ex, she pursued him and they dated. As his interest unsurprisingly quickly waned, she pulled the goalie in a last-ditch effort. They stayed together until my nephew was about 1 and my brother just called it all off and walked away. She legitimately thought they were soulmates and basically forced him to take her to court to see his son when he started dating someone new, now his wife of 10 plus years. They had a terrible co-parenting relationship for a long time and she even wanted to discuss how things ended for closure before her wedding, which he refused. Surprisingly, he has a great relationship with her husband now as they've bonded over how much both of them dislike her family. Lol. Her daughter with him and my niece are also good friends too. It worked out after a decade of turmoil, but didn't work out for her and her dreams after being the other woman. My brother didn't treat many women well before his wife, so he's an asshole in this as well. I haven't done it personally, but everyone I know who has. It never worked out. Most recent one, my buddy's wife cheated on him, but he stuck by her. They're now getting a divorce for reasons unrelated to that. Well separated. She started one of their mutual friends and got pregnant. He dumped her, not wanting a kid, and now she's stuck with a baby. The husband, my friend, is still trying to pick up the pieces and save the marriage. I can't convince him to move on from her, but I feel like the oops baby is karma from the way she treated my friend and having cheated on him once before. Man, your friend sounds absolutely pathetic. Agreed. He loves this woman and has a serious case of owneritis. My friend married the woman he cheated with, divorced in less than 5 years. She emotionally abused him throughout their marriage. Sheesh. Life can be cruel. Life can be predictable. I think it's been working out pretty well for my ex-husband. He began an affair with his married intern at work at some point. I'm not sure of the exact details of when it started, but I think it was in the spring of 2018. He went away on a work trip and came back and was never the same towards me ever again. I was pretty distraught as to why his behavior became so aggressive towards me, why he refused to look at me or talk to me, or why he shoved me if I tried to give him a hug. Eventually I found out, but you know, I don't think I ever made him light up like he did around her. Obviously, we divorced and she did the same with her husband. I probably should have told people about what they did, but I didn't want to sound bitter. His family welcomed her with open arms and they recently went on a month-long trip to Europe for vacation. The way he did everything was very cruel. Said he wanted a divorce over an ML after 14 years together. But even though he was terrifying that last year, the first 13 were really good. So I'm okay that they are happy. But maybe sometimes I wish she would become some hairy, grotesque, sweaty creature. I'm just not that lucky. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Ex-wife cheated and took me years to come to terms with it. My uncle cheated on his wife of 30 years. He eventually married the person he cheated with. Shortly thereafter he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and to her credit, she stayed with him until he died. But those years were definitely not fun for either of them. Not a man, but my dad did this. Left my mom for another woman, and has now been married to her for 15 plus years. There were many women before this and it all kinda came out at once. Anyway, after my dad full on ditched us for this woman called my mom because she was worried my dad was cheating on her and thought for some reason my mom would be sympathetic. She's weird. Anyway, I guess they worked it out because they are still together. So I was seeing a girl and she was cheating on me quite a bit. Somehow in the middle of this, I reconnected with the girl I lost my virginity to, and I guess I began emotionally cheating on my girlfriend cause I moved home and we got together. That will be 13 years ago next July. So the new girl dumped you 12 years ago, or what? Lol, no, I left my cheating girlfriend. Oh, I got one. My father cheated on my mom. Many times. For the sake of me and my brother, my mom pretended she didn't know or allowed it. Until he did something he truly could not come back from and they divorced. Dad got put in a mental hospital where he met his current wife. It has been implied she cheated on her ex-husband too. Was not allowed custody of my stepbrother. Dad and her married. Still together today, but I did catch her cheating on my dad. With my uncle Mayo who, well, my dad probably has not been faithful in his current marriage, but they decided to work it out and are still together. I have not spoken to him or his wife in 7 years. But I get some gossip from others as they dared to move in 3 streets away from where my mom lives. Small town. Big gossip. Even moving out of the country the juice finds me, ha 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 ha. Not me, but my grandfather cheated on my grandmother with his secretary. He and the secretary are still married 40 something years later. I married her and had kids. Sometimes you meet the right match, but you're not mature enough, or you're an asshole enough, or lazy enough, or you're mad enough to not break up with someone who is a terrible match. So you say F it and roll with the cheating for a bit. Is it wrong? Absolutely. Not proud of it, but it's what happened. Do I worry about karma biting me in the ass? Yes. Every effing day. I will say though, before I met my wife I went through 2 decades of effing hell with absolutely shitty partners, so perhaps I'm even Stevens with the world right now. In the same boat. Though my ex-wife cheated on me several times before I ever did anything. It's still not necessarily an excuse, though. I wish it all had happened under better circumstances, but I've never been happier with anyone else. I know someone who cheated on their former partner with their current partner to get out of the last relationship, and now they are terrified of being cheated on. Maybe be an adult and properly break up with partners. You weren't young and dumb either. You were in your late 20s. Now you're in your early 30s and deeply unhappy with your current partner. Let's see how you get out of it this time. I think many of us know such a couple, lol. Yeah, it just sucks. It doesn't take that much to just be good to other people. All I'ma say is if they are willing to sleep with a taken man, then chances are they are willing to sleep with other men when they are taken. Accurate doesn't end well. That's placing all the blame with the other party. A way for the ego to protect itself. It was all them. I'm innocent. Decisions were made by both sides. Both sides share responsibility. I admit I've made more than my fair share of f-ups. I mean, I'm admitting that I cheated. Not really any way for me to spin that to where I'm the innocent party. Just saying though, if someone is willing to sleep with a person that's taken, there's a pretty good chance that they are willing to cheat on that person as well. Not me. My aunt was cheated and on sadly committed suicide when he left her, 3 adult-age kids, and married over 20 years. He married the woman he cheated on my aunt with. She stole a bunch of money from him and divorced him after 8 months of marriage. He moved to Hawaii with a friend and lost his home to the wildfires. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry for the loss of your aunt. Your uncle really had it bad after his decision. That woman whom she cheated on is a real piece of work. People say don't blame the mistress, but it takes 2 to tango. I hope she gets her price for her actions. People really angrily downvoting anyone who cheated and where it turned out okay for them. Definitely one of those posts where you sort by controversial to get the real answers. Of course, people on Reddit don't want to admit they're cheaters. That would require them to get off of their high horse. My father cheated on my mother with his now current wife. They've been inseparable for plus 20 years. I have 2 cool stepbrothers. Proof that once a cheater isn't always a cheater. If the second choice was better than the first. Completely unrelated to my post. But did it affect how you viewed your dad growing up? We broke up cause she had abandonment issues and I had trust issues. A truly imperfect love. What specifically caused the breakup? What did she do? I ask because this sounds like a situation I'm in. I did not call or text enough while working, triggering her abandonment issues. Then I had the natural drop in libido as the relationship began maturing into the emotional depth part. That to her was triggering. She had been abandoned as a kid with her grandmother, dad left, mom suicide, and dealt with the tragic death of someone extremely close to her. She would break up and then find her way back to me. I genuinely loved and cared for her, but couldn't keep living on the razor's edge. May I ask you how the libido dropping due to deeper emotional attachment works? Like, why do you think that happens when you supposedly love and are attracted to your partner? I'm genuinely asking as a woman who has experienced this and have definition been afraid of it, meaning I'm unattractive and unwanted. Just feels like something has to be wrong. Relationships are hard for those of us with issues. Not me. A guy I know cheated on his vanilla BF to be with an adventurous guy. Got lots of his stuff stolen and then HIV. I don't know the exact details, but heard one of his FWBs went mad and got him fired, deported and basically blacklisted in the field. So, kinda opposite, but my ex-GF cheated on me with a guy. I broke up with her. They're still together like 8 years later, but neither of them are happy. Paresi. She's done everything she did to me, to him, and he's done the same to her. He wants to marry her. She doesn't want it. IDK man. They confuse me, lol. Jesus. What a strange couple they are. Says a lot about her character, and I'm glad you're away from that woman. I left my fiancé of 10 years together to be with a younger woman who I thought was a better fit for my lifestyle. We dated for 8 months before she ultimately got bored of me and we broke up. I accepted that whatever came my way, I deserved. I lost a great woman and our 2 dogs because I chose short-term pleasure over long-term happiness. Fellas, don't do it. If you're not happy with someone, talk to them. It's not worth it. The grass is always greener. So the bored you became the boring one when your lifestyle didn't fit hers, bruh. If they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. They're the same person. Not true. Life is not black and white. Life is not black and white, but consequences are. My friend's dad did. They have been together for 20 years. They seem extremely happy, always having fun and goofing around. They acknowledged how shitty it was and regret how things happened, but not the relationship. This is a rare story, but they happen once in a while. Lol, is it just me, or is that the PPL that are commenting that was married and cheated on their spouse makes you kinda not want to be married or in a relationship for that matter? Lol, just me? Okay, lol. Can 3 people please upvote me? Not a bot. Just want to be able to ask a question in Ask Men and I don't have enough karma. Karma came back around. Made the woman my fiancé. Then she left me 3 months later. Found out she had been cheating repeatedly during our relationship. Haven't been happy since. And I've accepted that's my fault. Sure turned out good for my ex-husband. He married her shortly after our divorce. They have a baby now.